Yes, good evening then. Welcome to our coverage of the final game of the day in the new African Football League quarter-final first leg weekend. We've already had three terrific matches to kick off this brand new competition, and just earlier today, Tout-Puissant Mazembe getting a 1-0 victory against Espérance of Tunisia to set them up for the second leg of that tie. And now we are here in Uyo, the Godswill Akpabio Stadium this evening for the final game of the weekend. Enyimba, the People's Elephant, the Nigerian champions, playing host to Wydad Casablanca this evening. This one that should be an absolute cracker to round things off in the first round of matches. The second legs, remember, to come during the week. And therefore, in the case of these two teams, well, for Enyimba, it has to be all about securing an advantage to take with them to the second leg in Morocco, which is going to be an enormous test of their capabilities. Probably the outsiders, you'd say, coming into this inaugural edition of the African Football League. Wydad, meanwhile, a team with a real chance of winning the title. Label Field CAF Champions League winners in 2022, runners-up last season to the record African champions Al Ahly, and they will be eyeing another continental title in this African Football League. Therefore, for them, it is all about securing a positive result here at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium this evening to take back to Morocco for the return in a few days' time. The atmosphere is building inside the stadium. Just a reminder of what we've already had over the last couple of days, a terrifically entertaining 2-2 draw between Simba and Al Ahly in the opening game on Friday. Yesterday, Mamelodi Sundowns really laying down a marker with a 2-0 win in Angola against Petro of Luanda. And then TP Mazembe getting that narrow victory against Espérance earlier today. A really, really intriguing contest, that one. Really hard-fought, tight affair. And let's see if this one can be the same this evening. My name's Andy Scott. Alongside me is Asamoah Gyan, the former Ghana captain, Africa's all-time top goal scorer at World Cups, and looking forward to sharing the action this evening with you, Asamoah. How do you see this one, and how have you enjoyed the first three games of the new African Football League?
This is going to be a cracker. Talking about Enyimba, they've been away for some time. You know, they've been dominating the local league, and they've got an experienced coach. They've got stars who are also monitoring them, you know, talking about Nwankwo Kanu and Infinity George, who have their name in the game already. They are being like mentors in this Enyimba team. And when you talk about Wydad won the Champions League last year, you know, it's a very big club. They are recently performing so well locally, and Enyimba wants to prove a point in this tournament. Everybody wants to write this name on the history books, be first team to win the African Football League. You know, so it's going to be a very, very interesting game today.
Yes, thanks, Asamoah. Yes, certainly in the case of Enyimba, it's about doing Nigeria proud, about doing West Africa in general proud, because they are the West African representatives in the inaugural edition of the African Football League, and an opportunity for them to really see how they compare to the heavyweights of the continent at the moment. Enyimba, former African champions in back-to-back years in 2003 and 2004. It's been a bit harder for them in recent campaigns, and they are, in a sense, the standout team in this African Football League, because they are not also going to be involved in the group stage of the CAF Champions League, which is going to begin in just over a month from now. They were beaten by Al Ahly Benghazi of Libya in the qualifying rounds of that competition. So for them, it is a chance to really prove a point and show what they can do against one of the continent's leading lights this evening. Wydad Casablanca, the visitors here, and a team who have three African titles to their name in the Champions League, runners-up in that competition 3 times as well. One of the very top teams in Africa right now. So the teams emerge here at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo for the final quarter-final first leg in the inaugural African Football League. And the Enyimba fans who have arrived this evening to follow their team. We're not in Enyimba's home city tonight, so it's not perhaps as big a turnout as they would have hoped for, but still an excellent following for the People's Elephant tonight up against Wydad Casablanca. Wydad, who will wear all white this evening, and Enyimba in their blue shirts. We'll take you through the starting lineups in just a moment. And this is Finidi George's Enyimba team, captained by the goalkeeper Olorunleke Ojo, who was in the Nigeria squad, the Super Eagles squad, for their recent international friendly matches played in Europe. Look out for the teenage midfielder Daniel Daga, who was a star for Nigeria's Flying Eagles at the Under-20 World Cup in Argentina earlier this year, and several other players who were standout performers in the Nigerian top flight last season as Enyimba won the title. Among the players, Joseph Atule was named in the league's team of the season, and certainly one to watch this evening, the Enyimba number 7. Here are our officials for tonight's game. Referee Alaji Alau Mamat is the man in the middle. And they're with the two captains, the Enyimba goalkeeper and the Wydad midfielder Yaya Jabran, who is a real stalwart in this Wydad Casablanca team. And I can tell you that Wydad are fresh from winning their last league game by 4 goals to nil. As we run through the Wydad Casablanca starting lineup, plenty of names will be familiar to you. If you followed the action in the Champions League in the last couple of years, Yaya Jabran returning to captaincy. That's the one change from the team that played in their last league game. But one or two key players missing this evening, not least Willy Sambou, the Senegalese forward who was prolific in the domestic league in Morocco last season and in the Champions League. So the big question is, how will Wydad cope without his goal threat up front? Will that work in favour of Finidi George's team?
Yeah, hopefully it should work for him because he's been a reliable striker for Wydad. And now that he's not around, definitely the coach might have a different option, but he's the one they will be relying on. So it's going to be a bit tricky right now. Maybe Finidi George has also worked on tactically to make sure he's competition that he's well. But hey, this game is going to be a different game altogether, and everybody wants to win, of course. As I said, they want to make sure they lift this cup, so they have to start well by winning.
Well, we're just about ready to go. Final game of the weekend then, coming up to the hour here in Uyo in Nigeria, and it's Enyimba against Wydad Casablanca to round off what has been a terrific weekend of matches in the African Football League. Wydad will get the action underway here. Off we go then, and Wydad Casablanca looking to come away with a positive result from their trip to the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium here in Uyo, the first leg of this African Football League quarter-final. Already with a free kick immediately. Wydad to have become used to getting good results on the road in very difficult conditions, often in continental competition in the last few years. This team this evening, a mixture of players who've been there, been part of the side have been in the Champions League final in each of the last 2 seasons. And a number of new faces have come in as well. Free kick from a long way out, straight into the wall. Away by the Enyimba defence.
And I think I like the way Wydad have started this game. They started very, very aggressively. Although they are playing away, you could see they are coming for the win. They are coming for the kill. So that's very, very good start for Wydad.
forwards. Certainly in the absence of Woody Songo. All eyes on Sheki Bakri. Wydad attacked the same, they scored a hat-trick in their last game, by the way, a 3-0 victory at Ittihad Tangier in the Moroccan League. And you can see Adil Ramsey in his technical area, the new Wydad coach this season. We talked about Vanini George already. Well, Adil Ramsey is a big star in Morocco and has come in to take charge of a team who have, I think it's fair to say, missed Walid Regragui ever since he departed to take the reins of the Moroccan national team. But coming forwards, Joseph Atule trying to get on the end of that ball. Elected by Chileku, left back. So you'll be particularly interested in the progress of Enyimba in this competition, being a Ghanaian yourself. The West African leagues, some would say maybe lacking behind a little bit in terms of the North African competitions. The Moroccan and Egyptian leagues, very, very strong. We've seen that with their results in the Champions League in recent times, and this will be a real measure for them of where the Nigerian league and perhaps the other West African leagues stand in comparison.
Exactly. This is where they should showcase their talent for the whole of Africa to see. You know, I'm from South Africa. I'm from West Africa and Nigeria. When you talk about Enyimba is a bigger club, one of the biggest clubs in Africa. It's an old club. They've participated in a lot of Champions League. Probably won some of them. And what we are lacking is the infrastructure, which Africa is improving right now. You know, we've got an African country, a Moroccan team, progressing to the semi-finals, the World Cup. So African football is improving progressively right now, and I'm happy the way Enyimba has already progressed because of they have Nwanko Kano, they have Finidi George, they have stars monitoring the clubs, and that is a good sign for African football.
So Enyimba, the winners of the Champions League in back-to-back years, 2 decades ago, 2003 and 2004. The stars of that team, Vincent Enyimba, the great Nigerian goalkeeper, scored a goal in the second leg of the final in 2004. Vincent Enyimba.
Wow, I'd already moved to Europe at that time. I'd already moved to Europe at that time. I was young, I couldn't follow. But it's a great record for Enyimba.
Vincent Enyimba, who, like yourself, Asamoah, played in the French league later in his career. He was a goalkeeper with Lille and did very well there too in Ligue 1 in France, having won the Champions League in Africa. And of course, fine goalkeeper for Nigeria for many years.
And he's been one of the best goalkeepers Africa has ever produced, and he's one of the best goalkeepers.
Coming, you're looking to get on the front foot. Wydad recovering possession. Chance for them to drive forward here with Ayub El Amloud. Just a little bit too much on the pass for Hisham Boussefian. The right wing for Wydad Casablanca this evening. To the right-hand side for Gabriel Innocent, who sent it down the wing, looking for Joseph Atule to run onto. The flag is up against him. And Atule, number 7 for Enyimba, certainly one to watch this evening. Mentioned him in the build-up to the game. He was named in the Nigerian League Team of the Season for last season, and then made the move to Enyimba ahead of this campaign. The season in Nigeria is just getting started. A couple of games in for Enyimba. And are already 6 matches into their season in the Mortola in Morocco. See if the extra freshness helps in Enyimba, or whether Wydad are perhaps feeling fitter, having played more matches and already secured qualification for the CAF Champions League. Seville Moti, the goalkeeper, will look to play it long here. Just put it all the way through. Ojo, the skipper. Chukwu. Sunyari losing the ball there, and Wydad maybe with a chance. Might have the shot on goal, which was an ambitious attempt, but it takes a deflection on its way through. It will be the first corner kick of the game, the effort from Boussefian. View from behind Lekiojo's goal here inside the Consuelo Pavio Stadium in Uyo. Sprinkling of Enyimba supporters mainly gathered on the far side. Yaya Atiat Allah is going to deliver this corner kick. Moroccan international. Swinging ball, headed away. Comes back to Atiat Allah. All the way towards the back post, but the free kick given against Yaya Jabran. Here is the Wydad Casablanca captain, who is back in the starting lineup this evening for Adil Ramsey's team. They won the Champions League under Walid Regragui about 18 months ago. Last season they got through several coaches. A little bit of a turbulent campaign, nevertheless did make it to the Champions League final again, beaten over 2 legs by Al Ahly, the continent's record champions. 11 times the Egyptian side have won the Champions League, and they will be one of the leading favourites to win in the African Football League as well, I think it's fair to say, after a very positive result in their opening game against Simba in Tanzania. The kick comes in. All the way by the Enyimba defence. Shaki Al-Bakri is the man leading the attack for Wydad this evening. Top, which is running behind for the goal kick. Eases a bit of the pressure on the Enyimba defence.
I think Enyimba hasn't found their feet so far in the game, and Wydad has been able to possess the ball. They've been able to find their feet. They are passing the ball between themselves, and it looks like Enyimba is always following the ball. And when you do that, when you are playing at home, you get tired, and maybe they are waiting can capitalize on it.
It's another free kick for Wydad, which is sent forward. Now looking to put pressure on the Enyimba central defenders. By Daga. I mentioned before that he is one to look out for. Daniel Daga, just 16 years old in the Enyimba midfield, a huge test of his quality, his potential this evening up against the tried and tested Wydad midfield. Yaya Jabran, the Wydad captain, in direct opposition to him, is a real veteran in comparison, into his 30s now, and he's seen it all really in the African club game with this Wydad team. Sent forward, touch on by Atule. Chance for the shot at goal. Well, very difficult to beat the goalkeeper from there, but Chijioke Bauma, the first attempt of the game for this Enyimba team. And when we mentioned that Wydad are without the top scorer from last season for them, Ruli Sombu, the same can be said of Finidi George's Enyimba, because Chukwuemeka Obioma, who was the top scorer in the Nigerian league last season with 16 goals, left the club to actually go play in Morocco with Renaissance Zemamra, and therefore they're having to rebuild without their star striker from last season. working together between those two players that I mentioned, the youngster Daga and Jabran. Free kicks being given against Daniel Daga. That was a witty challenge.
Wow, there's a witty challenge. A player like Daga is a very, very strong midfielder, and I wish him well. I think he's going to be a very, very strong defensive midfielder in the future.
Ball over the top, which has got in between the two Enyimba defenders. It was an important recovery by Chilekwu, the left back, to hook that ball away to safety. Chilekwu takes the throw quickly here. Another free kick conceded, and certainly it's become the pattern of the game in the early stages. Wydad looking perhaps a little bit more comfortable in possession, winning plenty of free kicks in midfield. Distribution though from Youssef El Mouti, leaving something to be desired. I'm sure that Walid Regragui, the Morocco manager, will be watching this game tonight, keeping an eye on players in the Wydad team who are part of his squad. And the others too, Wydad Casablanca are not the Moroccan champions. They missed out on the domestic title last season, but they have been the flag bearer for Moroccan club football in the last couple of years, at a time in which the Moroccan game in general has been in a very strong position indeed, given the successes of the men's national team, the women's national team too. Got to the knockout phase of the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand just a few months ago. It's going to be a second corner kick for Wydad, which is going to be taken here by Boussefiane.
It looks like Wydad is dominating possession in this early stages of the first half, and I hope Enyimba doesn't concede, because if they concede, it's going to be very, very difficult for them.
Yeah, the first goal likely to be absolutely crucial in this game, certainly from an Enyimba perspective. The challenge coming flying in, and it's going to be the first yellow card of the game, shown to the Wydad defender Amin Abou Fat. Came flying through the back of the Enyimba player there and immediately punished by the referee. Let's see this one again. Another strong challenge, Asamoah, coming in on Joseph Antule.
I think that was a good call by the referee. The player even risked a bit of booking there, so I think it's a good call by the referee. Very, very strong challenge though.
Certainly been a physical contest in the opening 15 minutes here. We'd had looking like stamping their authority on the game. And a reminder that the winners of this tie will play either TP Mazembe or Esperance in the semi-finals. We could have an all North African affair, but TP Mazembe certainly might have something to say about that. Enyimba too, as Enyimba come forward here, the ball from Daga, and it was attempted by Mboma to pick out his teammate in the middle. Antule was waiting in there, plenty of movement from these Enyimba attacking players in the opening minutes, and they've got themselves a corner at the other end.
And Daga has been very, very interesting to watch in this first half. Very young, but very, very confident with the ball.
Corner played short, played early, headed away. Gabriel Innocent, the right back, looking to keep it alive here. Sent into the middle again. With El Mouti, now the goalkeeper has had a save to make in the first 16 minutes of this match. Yaya Jabran sitting deep midfield, moving it out to the left-hand side here. The early ball played forward, the goalkeeper choosing to punch it away, and this is where the youngster Daga, coming under pressure to try and keep possession in there. It's very good play on the near side by Awazi, picked up now by Eze, the number 6, out to the right flank, and Eze's continued his run. Just Nachi trying to feed the ball through. Oh, it's a disastrous ball played back the way, a gift possibly for Enyimba. Tule looking to finish it off, is blocked by the defender. Well, that was a horrible mix-up from Wydad Casablanca. They nearly paid a very heavy price for it, and it could have been the opening goal for Enyimba. What was happening here? Yeah, well, desperate last-stage tackler. I think, Asamoah, you're wondering why. Well, you can understand why Joseph Atule didn't choose to pass the ball, because clearly he had his eyes on the goal, but there was a teammate just to his right.
Exactly. This is inexperience. You know, everybody is eager to score. There were a lot of players covering the post. Then you have your player on the right side. He should have kept his composure and tried and set it up for his colleague to score, but he decided to go solo. Sometimes it happens, you know. But after, I'm sure he's gonna watch it and see how he's gonna react to it next time.
Certainly, Finidi George, as manager, a player with terrific experience at the very highest level, will be really wondering why his player didn't look to square that ball to a teammate. It might still come to something. It's Atule again. Getting the end of the corner, maybe just caught a little bit underneath that ball as it arrived to him at the back post.
I think there's a great chance he should have buried it, because I think he saw it coming and he didn't. This is a great chance. He should have buried his ball.
Yeah, he got away a little bit too easily from the attentions of his marker Atiyat Allah, who was just looking to the referee and claiming that he might have been pushed there, but nothing was given. And it is an escape for the away team. Very big moment in this game for Enyimba. You mentioned, Asamoah, that they can't afford to lose the first goal. Certainly, if they can get the breakthrough here and have the lead, then it will make things very interesting indeed. Certainly from a neutral perspective too, because Enyimba might be considered not just the underdogs in this tie, but in the competition in general. The ball into the box is collected by Oluwaleke Ojo, the Enyimba captain. Looks to play it forward early. Maybe they have a chance here to get in behind. Kenny Awazi just allowed the defender to come back and make the interception. Picked up by Chilekwu. Possibly just a bit too much on that pass. It will not be kept in play by Atule, but this is encouraging for Enyimba. They are beginning to settle into this game and create a couple of interesting opportunities. It remains 0-0 after 20 minutes.
Exactly, they are being able to get back to the game, especially Atula, who is being a threat right now for Enyimba. I hope he continues and make sure they can even get a goal, because playing against a team like that, if you don't settle in quick and then they get a goal, it's going to be very, very difficult in Morocco.
Yes, that second leg to come up in just a few days' time. And then on to the semi-finals next weekend. Again, the early ball played forward here. It's going to be returned by Abul Fat towards his goalkeeper. In the Champions League qualifiers, Wydad were very comfortable winners against another West African team, Afia of Guinea. They won 4-1 over over 2 legs to secure a place in the group stage of the Champions League, while Enyimba had lost in the previous round in qualifying, beaten 4-3 on aggregate in a really exciting tie against Al Ahly Benghazi. Means that they will not be involved. The Nigerian champions will not be involved in the Champions League group stage. A Wydad team who did win the Moroccan title last season will be in there. They finished a point behind FAR Rabat in the domestic league last season. But they will be in the Champions League, and among the teams they'll be coming up against Asamoah is Simba of Tanzania, another of the competitors in this African Football League.
And I think Simba also started well in this African Football League. They were able to hold Al Ahly, who were the favorites, you know, and it was an interesting encounter. Talking about Simba, they've been very, very good within the past couple of years. Right now, they're beating a strong team.
Yes, certainly one thing that Simba had on their side the other day in that game against Al Ahly was a huge, passionate crowd inside the stadium. It's not quite the case for Enyimba this evening. Finidi George's team haven't got a full stadium, but nevertheless excellent backing for the People's Elephant from the fans who have made the trip here to Uyo for tonight's game. So there is a Wydad player on the floor in the centre circle. Sheki El Bakri is the man who has gone down. And this is the reason why we went for that aerial challenge with Okechukwu. I think it was knocked to the head, was it? Just the back of the head, which he suffered in that challenge with Chikamusu Okechukwu. And the referee is obliged to stop the game and allow for some treatment here. And certainly Adil Ramsey will be a little bit concerned about the man leading his attack this evening. Finidi George, by the way, was appointed by Enyimba. He doesn't just do his job, he's also the assistant to the Super Eagles, which means that the last because they've been playing a couple of friendly matches. They played Saudi Arabia, drew 2-2 with Roberto Mancini's Saudi team. They then played Mozambique in another friendly match. They are, of course, getting ready for the AFCON, which is coming up early in 2024 in the Ivory Coast. Nigeria back in that competition, which is great to see. But it does mean that Finidi George, the last couple of league games, has had to pass over the responsibility for the team to his assistant with Enyimba, because their league season has been starting. Well, he's not been there. So, you know, you could argue, is that ideal for the team, or is this perhaps a positive thing for Enyimba because it shines a light on them, the fact that their manager is involved with the Super Eagles as well?
I think personally, it's a very good CV for him. Now that people are beginning to trust his project, what he can do. He has been with Enyimba since 2021, and now he's been involved in the senior national team, which means he's been doing something right, and it's been a success for him. Although he left his side for his assistant, but definitely the assistant knows his philosophy, he knows his project, so I don't think it's gonna affect Enyimba.
Yes, Enyimba's first couple of league games they played, well, they were actually beaten in the first game, but they bounced back to get a 3-2 victory against Aqua United in the last match. That was a week ago, a match in which they were 2-0 up, brought back to 2-2, and then ended up winning it by 3-2. So victory for Enyimba to warm up for their entry into the African Football League, and with Finidi George coming back in. And of course, Finidi George needs no introduction to fans, not just of African football, but really football anywhere. We think back to what he did. He was a UEFA Champions League winner with Ajax in 1995, that great Ajax team. He played in Spain as well. He played in a very good Real Betis team there. He has a terrific reputation as a player and a coach as well.
Two World Cups,
and certainly part of a great Nigerian team in that period, which won the AFCON too in the 1990s. A fantastic ambassador for what was a great period in Nigerian football.
And honestly, I'm happy for him for him becoming the head coach of Enyimba. Enyimba is a big team in Africa, and it's a big Nigeria, and it's a big step for George Finidi, and I wish him well.
Yes, and Jose Peseiro, the Nigerian manager, has been wishing Finidi George as well publicly in the last couple of days, hoping that Enyimba can do Nigeria proud in this competition. They have possession again, and Wydad waiting for Sheki El Bakri to get the green light to come back on with that heavily bandaged head of his. Daniel Daga losing out in the challenge. Wydad maybe an opportunity here. Enyimba defence standing firm. Wydad still down to 10 players at the moment. Bakri is back on, and Bakri with the touch, looking to play it into the path of Hisham Boussefiane, who will let this ball run behind. It will be another corner to Wydad, and there is the very unusual bandage that Sheki El Bakri has wrapped around his head and his jaw as well. Sufyan Anash then, the bearded Wydad number 24, waiting to take the corner. And the referee just with a telling off for Gabriel Innocent, the Enyimba number 3. And his opponent as well, Jamal Harkas, the Wydad player, as the free header comes in. And very nearly the opening goal for Wydad Casablanca. Perfect delivery, powerful header. And from that position, with no defender anywhere near him, certainly should have hit the target in that situation.
Exactly, he should have hit the target. And I think this is the second chance of the game. First for Enyimba and second for Wydad. He should have just hit the target and see what happens. But he decided to give a direction, and hopefully he knows what he wants to do.
Best chance of the game so far then for Wydad to have themselves a free kick here. Ball out to the left-hand side, which is not kept in play. Yahya Attia Allah is the Wydad left-back who was unable to control that ball. One of a couple of Wydad players, current Wydad players, who were part of that Moroccan squad which did so wonderfully well at the World Cup just under a year ago in Qatar. Africa's first ever semi-finalists at the World Cup. A number of very close calls in previous editions, not least, of course, your Ghana team in 2010, which came ever so close to reaching the last four in South Africa. It just wasn't to be. Morocco made it last year before losing in that semi-final to France.
Yeah, Morocco did so well by getting to the semi-final. They were more defensively sound, very, very defensive. They went into the World Cup with very, very defensive players. The only time they wanted to play good football to open up, that was when they lost. I felt like they should have stick to the game plan, but they've been able to go to the semi-finals, the first African country to go to the semi-finals. So kudos to them, and every African country congratulated them. So it's a good achievement for Morocco.
Yeah, fantastic achievement for the Moroccan team, and we look forward to seeing them at the AFCON coming up in the Ivory Coast in just a couple of months' time now. And Morocco will be playing against the likes of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia and Tanzania in the group stage of that competition. Nigeria, who've missed a few editions of the AFCON in recent years, they will be back, and they'll be playing the host nation, as well as Equatorial Guinea and Guinea-Bissau in the group stage in the Ivory Coast. So certainly going to be a fantastic competition in January and February. The free kick is swung in. The goalkeeper was caught underneath that. I think he got the shot from his defender, who headed it away to safety. kick is given Wydad's way. Well, it's been a physical game in the first 31 minutes here. Haven't been too many chances. One big one at each end, you would say. And other than that, lots of stoppages for free kicks, couple of injuries, couple of bookings. At the moment, it is very finely poised, 0-0.
Yeah, I think it's been very, very physical. You could see Enyimba playing to win this game. They want to prove a point, but it's never been enough. They've gotten a couple of chances. I think two. One free header, and then one that he was supposed to lay for the striker. I think there is a bit of hesitation. They have to just calm down, be themselves. They know they are a big team. They have to just keep down and then make sure they can win the game. If they want to win, they can. I'm sure they can win the game.
Header on, looking for El Bahri. It's come up to Joseph Atule, the other end here. And another chance maybe for Enyimba to build something. Wydad have slightly more of the possession in the first third of this game. Touch back away by Chilekwu. It's nicely done to find Awazi. Kene Awazi. Teammate in a bit of space here. It's Nachi heading towards the byline, looking to hold it up for Mbaoma on the edge of the 6-yard box. Comes back to Awazi again. The Wydad defence standing firm. El-Houni. Heavy touch by Arnash, but it fell to Yahya Jabran. It's just sitting deep in that Wydad midfield, just dictating the tempo. A bit of pressure there from Daniel Daga. Helped on by Atia Allah, and this is a chance maybe to get in behind for Wydad. Good covering from the Enyimba defender. Boussefian was making the run. Wydad have themselves another corner kick. Well, that was a very important piece of defensive play.
Very good defensive play by Chikumuzo. He's been very, very solid today. Although technically he's a bit of suspect, but defensively he's been very, very good, cutting out the attack of Wydad.
It's going to be an in-swinging corner from the left-hand side, which Soufiane Arnash is going to take here. Dutch-born winger. In-swinging ball, which is headed away by Alalibo Somiari. A chance for the counter-attack. The blatant foul on Atule is going to be punished with a yellow card and a second booking of the game for a Wydad player, shown to Hisham Boussefian. Certainly Joseph Atule was guilty perhaps of a bit of bad decision-making earlier in this first half, but he has looked very lively indeed in that Enyimba attack, and he would have been away. I think Boussefian did what he had to do for the team in that situation.
Exactly, that's a tactical foul, and everybody will accept that. Even the coach will accept that. He tried to cut off the dangerous attack for Enyimba. So I think it's a good thing for the team. Sometimes you need it.
One less said about the shot from long range, the better. Drawn by El Bahri, picked up by Arnash. Atia Allah continuing his run down the left, the cross in from him, looking for El Bahri. Back to Jabran. Zakaria Draoui, the Algerian international, alongside him in the midfield. Jabran just getting his foot on the ball, maybe the chance to pick out player in the middle again, this time surely. And the referee feels it was contact between the goalkeeper and the player. He's pointed to the spot. He is reaching for his pocket. It's going to be big trouble for the Enyimba goalkeeper. Oluronleke Ojo might just escape with a yellow here. Well, the Wydad players on the bench.
Very tight. So let's see whether there's going to be an offside or something. But I think it was a good run. So
well, the card has been produced for Oluronleke Ojo. It's a yellow card for him. Great ball over the top. And the control from Ayub El Amloud, who'd come forward from right back, who was ready to go around the goalkeeper. And, well, the Enyimba captain did make some contact, didn't get anything on the ball, but I think from an Enyimba point of view, they'll be disappointed. I think the referee is sought to award the penalty there, but it looks like Oluronleke Ojo is going to have to dust himself down and face up to the spot kick here, and Wydad are going to have the chance to take the lead.
It might go well for Enyimba, because at least he was able to stop the attacker from scoring. And, penalty shootout, we always say goalkeepers only have 15% or 10% advantage of it. So let's see whether it's going to be the hero.
Well, Yaya Jabran is regular penalty taker for Wydad Casablanca. He's taken penalties in big games down the years. Jabran coolly slots in the spot kick, sending Oluronleke Ojo the wrong way, and Wydad draw first blood in this African Football League quarter-final first leg. Yaya Jabran from 12 yards makes it Enyimba 0, Wydad 1.
That was an excellent kick from the number 5.
Yeah, just waiting for the Enyimba goalkeeper to make the move and sending it the other way. Confidently dispatched by Yaya Jabran.
That was a confident kick there. I love the way he kept his composure to wait for the goalkeeper to move and then place it to the right-hand side of the goalkeeper. And that was a good kick.
Yes, Jabran, who captained the team in last season's CAF Champions League final, who has played at the World Cup, who has won the African Nations Championship with Morocco. A big game player. And Enyimba might have a quick opportunity to get themselves an equalising goal here. The free kick awarded just outside the penalty box. You said in Asimo that Enyimba couldn't really afford to concede the first goal in this game, but what they do need to do now is at least try to get an equaliser before half-time. Exactly, and that is what they started. They started so well immediately after the goal. They wanted to get into the box of Wydad immediately, and then they've gotten a free kick, and this is what they should do. They have a sense of urgency right now, and they cannot afford to lose this game. The worst should be a draw, maybe, if they are able to attack and defend very, very well. Well, let's see who fancies taking this free kick. There are a few candidates already gathered around the ball. Eze, Daniel Daga among them. Youssef El Moti, the goalkeeper, organising his wall, and looks like there's going to be 6 players in that wall. Mahmoud just trying to hold off Kenny Awazi. Alalibo Somiari is a contender to take this as well. Now, he scored the winning goal against Aqua United in Enyimba's last league game from a free kick. Number 25 is going to be to hit it. Smashes it into the wall. Eventually the free kick given Wydad's way. That was very well struck, that shot from Alalibo Somiari. Maybe see it from a different angle. We'll be able to tell if it was heading on target. It appeared to be. We'll have plenty plenty of goals this weekend in these quarter-finals. A 4-goal thriller between Simba and Al Ahly. Just 1 goal earlier today, but plenty of drama in Luanda yesterday when Petro had that penalty saved in the first half, and Mamelodi Sundowns eventually showing their quality to go on and claim the victory. Chance maybe for the shot here. Just fall. The effort from range, which is curled towards goal by Akini Awazi, but comfortably held by Youssef El Moti in the end. Just about the first save that the Wydad goalkeeper has had to make in this game. Bakri. Break of the ball, falling Wydad's way here. El Houni to cut it back. Just get a second chance at this. El Houni holding it up for El Bakri in the middle. And the striker with the bandaged head getting the header on target.
I think El Bakri is using his height to help Wydad come to him. You could see he's winning all the second balls, and then right now he had a header that he could have buried it. He's doing what he had to do as a long, lanky striker. he's using his height so well to help Wydad.
Well, that height is very important in this Wydad team because there's plenty of height in the centre of that Enyimba defence as well, from Alalibo Somiari and Okechukwu alongside him. Shauki El Bakri putting himself about. Lovely touch by the striker there. Give chase up against Okechukwu, and the goalkeeper comes out to claim. Heading towards half-time, and Wydad with the advantage here in Uyo, the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. No question that if it stays this way, it's going to be a very difficult task indeed for Enyimba to turn this tie around when they head to the bear pit of Casablanca in midweek. It's going to be a huge, noisy crowd there supporting Wydad. Ball spread out to this near side is a good one. Boussefian trying to turn away from his marker. The referee from Chad waving play on. It's collected by Atule. Here's Daniel Daga. Eze up to the right-hand side now. Bauma is in the penalty box, and Bauma is the target of the pass, and it's a really good piece of defensive play to shield that ball from Jamel Harkas. This Wydad team, by the way, mentioned that there's no Bouli Sombu, there is no Arsene Zola at the moment, the Congolese defender. Harkas and Amin Abul Fat are the central defensive pairing as a result, as we head into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Enyimba 0, Wydad Casablanca 1. Looks like it might be a second away win of the weekend in these quarter-final first legs.
We saw this kind of game in the opening game, Simba against Al Ahly. Al Ahly scored first, and then Simba came back in the second half and got 2-1 immediately before Al Ahly got equalized. So we hope to see this kind of game in the second half. But the way Enyimba is playing, it's quite difficult to even predict whether they can get a goal or not.
Well, certainly plenty of lively attacking players in this Enyimba side, but it's whether they can dominate the play enough to create the chances for them. Wydad with the greater experience, there's no question of that. They've got themselves a free kick for the challenge on Isham Boussefian. Speaking of experience, Dhaka, number 17, who is just 16 years old. Very highly rated young player, but nevertheless very difficult when you're that young, trying to compete with players of the experience that Wydad have in their midfield. I'm sure he's destined for very big things in the future. This is all part of the learning process for him.
Exactly, he's been very, very instrumental in the midfield of Enyimba. This boy has a great future. You can see, although he's 16 years, but he's got a height advantage, a physique, and he can do something in the near future for Nigeria.
Right now, Enyimba have the free kick to defend. That's Allah's ball in, which is headed away by Dhaka. He's a very young player and one with a big future, I'm sure. Of course, you were playing for Ghana as a teenager, if I'm not mistaken, but not quite as young as this young midfielder Daniel Taga this evening. And certainly it must be so difficult stepping out into this kind of game when you're this young, just 16 years old.
Yeah, this kind of players comes decades. You know, it's very unusual to have a teenager playing in the senior team. And I played at the age of 17. He's 16 right now, and he's already playing there. And the way he's playing, he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Such a key position as well, the base of the midfield. Header on, looking for Mamdou El Houni. Final seconds of this first half. Joseph Atule. Wydad just looking to shut up shop now and guarantee they have that lead into the break. Might just be one chance though for Enyimba, just a bit too much on it to fall for Joseph Atule, and Youssef El Morti, the goalkeeper, coming to claim. I think it may have taken a deflection off the defender on its way through, and that took it away from Joseph Atule. The referee brings the first half to a close. It's been pretty eventful. Chances at either end, and then a penalty allowing Wydad to take the lead 6 minutes before half-time, converted very coolly indeed by their stalwart captain Yaya Jabran after a foul on Ayub El Amloud, who was brought down by the Enyimba goalkeeper Olorunleke Ojo. And that means that the Moroccan Giants have the advantage at the break here in Nigeria. It's Enyimba 0, Wydad 1. Asmo, your thoughts on the first half?
To be fair, I think Enyimba should have at least gotten a goal in this first half. Although Wydad dominated possession, they were more efficient when you were more playing like a team, and they were able to get their goal. They deserved it, but I think if Enyimba should try and change something offensively to make sure they can get a goal immediately before it's too late for them.
Well, that's the situation here then in Uyo at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. Wydad with the edge. You see that in terms of the possession. In terms of attempts on goal, Enyimba have had 9 attempts on goal to Wydad 7, but just the 1 attempt on target. Wydad with just the 2 attempts on target. One of those the penalty, which was the goal. Wydad just edging it, and edging it on the scoreboard as well. And that is the situation. That is the state of play here in Nigeria this evening. In a moment, we'll take a look back at the best of the first half action. Wydad Casablanca on course to leave Uyo with a very precious advantage heading into the return leg of this African Football League quarter-final. Enyimba and Wydad Casablanca meeting in the quarter-final first leg of this opening weekend in the African Football League. And here at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo, it was Enyimba who might have been gifted the early breakthrough, the dangerous back pass intercepted, and the ball falling to Joseph Atule, who went for goal and had his shot blocked. He maybe could have played the pass to his right. There was a teammate alongside him. Decision-making, perhaps letting Atule and letting Enyimba down. Escaped on that occasion, and then from the corner that followed, Atule again with the opportunity at the back post. It was Yaya Atiat Allah, the Wydad defender, who was caught underneath this ball, as was the goalkeeper. Very difficult chance for the Enyimba player to take, and he couldn't take it. Back up the other end, chance for Wydad with a header from another corner kick, and on that occasion, just wide of the near post. Not too many chances in open play, but then all of a sudden the ball over the top, finding Ayub Amloud making the run into the box, and he was brought down by Olorunleke Ojo, the Enyimba captain and goalkeeper. A yellow card for him, and the referee from Chad pointing to the penalty spot. Wydad had the chance to take the lead with about 6 minutes of the first half remaining at this point. The Wydad players on the bench were convinced that it should have been a penalty. Great running from Ayub El Amloud. He was poised to go around the goalkeeper and tuck that ball into an empty net. There was not really an awful lot that Olorunleke Ojo could do there. Didn't make a massive amount of contact on the player, but enough for the penalty to be given. And Yaya Jabran confidently dispatching the spot kick. He is such an experienced player when it comes to taking penalties, and he converted that one very well indeed to put Wydad in front here. Wydad the favourites coming into this tie, and Wydad the team with the lead at the interval here in Uyo, thanks to Yaya Jabran's penalty.
Let's go. More pages, more pages, more pages on the screen. You got smile. Let's go.
Well, welcome back to the Codswell at Pabio International Stadium here in Uyo. The Wydad players emerging again for the second half after a short team talk from manager Adil Ramsey. And they'll be looking to see out the victory, add perhaps a couple more goals in the second half to set them up for the second leg of this inaugural African Football League quarter-final tie. Semi-finals to come next week, and then the two-legged final. Matches on the 5th and 11th of November. Finidi George, some instructions for his players as well. Now, Asamoah, the question is, what can Enyimba change, and what do you think they will change in the second half? We're looking at a substitution. It looks like Ikenna Cooper is going to be coming on here. Now, he is a very talented young midfield player, named in the team of the season in the Nigerian League in the last campaign, and it looks like it's Chidiebere Nachi who is making way for him. Is that possibly with an idea of making Enyimba a bit more solid in midfield than they were in the first half, and even if it means sacrificing one attacking player perhaps?
I think it's a good change. Maybe he figured it out that anytime they are attacking, you don't have one midfielder to follow attack, so he should be an offensive midfielder, just to follow the attack, maybe in case of rebound or something, to get into the box, to have more people in the box. Although the attacker are doing some good runs, but you need some midfielders to just support. And I think it's a good call from Finidi George.
So yeah, confirmation of that change then. Chidiebere Nachi making way for Ikenna Cooper coming on. And Wydad doesn't look like any changes for them. A couple of players just a bit late emerging from the dressing room. The second half will be underway in a moment. They are still coming back onto the field from the Wydad camp. will be Enyimba to set the ball rolling in this second half here. Inuyo. We go then. Enyimba getting us underway in the second half, trailing by that goal to nil. The Yaya Jabran penalty, having Wydad in the lead, and Fanini George making a substitution at half-time. Perhaps might have expected him to wait a little bit at the beginning of the second half before changing things up, but he has made the change immediately, and it will be interesting to see exactly how that changes the Enyimba team with Ikenna Cooper coming on into the midfield, the number 22.
I think his strategy is to put Cooper as a defensive midfielder and then put Daga a bit more offensive. You know, so as we said earlier, he's trying to bring some midfielders in front, and then Cooper being a defensive midfielder. So it's a good call from the coach. He's trying to put some offensive bite in his team.
Yeah, maybe just liberate young Daniel Daga a little bit from his defensive duties, and Ikenna Cooper, in comparison, is something of a veteran. He's 21 years old, so compared to young Daniel Daga, he's seen a lot more in his career. Daga winning the free kick, given that freedom to make the run forwards. Cooper to take the free kick here for Enyimba. Daga is allowed to push up right towards the edge of the penalty box. It's the ball through, touched on. Boma looking to get it into the middle and winning a corner kick, and it's a positive start to the second half for Enyimba.
Exactly, and that is what the coach wants to do in this game, and obviously they're having results. They've had their corner kick, and it's a good start for them in this second half.
It's going to be Chigozie Chilekwu to deliver the corner kick here. In swinging ball from the right hand side, cleared away by Shevki El Bakri at the near post. You can see Adil Ramsey there, Wydad coach, coming out to the edge of his technical area with some instructions for his players. They'll just be adapting to the change made by Enyimba. Innocence header on by Atia Alauno as far as Daga. Flying Eagles of Nigeria were quarter-finalists in the Under-20 World Cup in Argentina earlier this year. They actually beat Argentina on the way to the last 8 of that competition, lost to South Korea. Very good performance from the young Nigerian team. Just discussing at half-time, Asamoah, about the remarkable strength of the Nigerian national team at the moment. Well, Daniel Daga's a young player emerging. They have incredible attacking talent in particular at full international level. It will be fascinating to see how the Super Eagles, the senior national team, get on at the AFCON in the Ivory Coast coming up. You as a Ghanaian, maybe perhaps would like to see Ghana featuring a little bit more prominently, but Nigeria look very, very strong at the moment.
Exactly. Of course, I'm rooting for my country, Ghana, and we cannot wait to get right, because of course, anytime Ghana meets Nigeria, we're always ahead of them. So I hope we beat them in the competition, though.
It's that Nigeria Ivory Coast group stage game should be an absolute cracker. Ivorians hosting the competition, which was held in Cameroon, the last edition, beginning of last year. Daga just landing awkwardly to be helped up here by his teammate Cooper.
I think Daga is a very, very interesting player. Every coach will need this kind of player to be able to defend, to be able to attack anytime he needs it. And I'm sure he can even play even the right back or the left back. He is somebody who can sacrifice so much for the team.
Innocent with the free kick driven forward into the penalty box. It comes to Cooper. It's a very ambitious attempt on goal from the substitute. Kenneth Cooper mentioned that he was named in the team of last season in the Nigerian league. Of the few Enyimba players who were actually named in that team of the season, despite the fact that Enyimba won the domestic title. Chukwuemeka Obioma was one because he was the top scorer in the Nigerian league. The People's Elephant, who were Nigerian champions for the 9th time. All their titles have come since 2001. They've been the dominant club in the Nigerian game since the turn of the century. Touched on it earlier. Samoa Kanu became president of the club in July. Of the great Nigerian players of a great period in Nigerian football history, along with Vanini George. That team in the 90s wasn't just Nigeria, it was Ajax, in which they both starred in the 1990s too. Kind of a fantastic career in the European game.
I think both two players, Finidi and Nwankwo Kanu, have got that chemistry since Ajax, and then they're managing a club like Enyimba. It's a huge boost for this new generation. I'm sure they're gonna share their career experience with them. They're gonna mentor them, and I think they will be very, very lucky to have these two personalities in their team.
Tia Allah. With the ball back away. Here's Gabriel Innocent. Eze turning into Ojo, the goalkeeper. Cooper again does well. Certainly added something since coming on at half-time to that Enyimba midfield. Boma, nice touch to get away from the defender, right in front of the referee. And it's going to be another booking for a Wydad player. It's going to be Jabran, the goal scorer. It's the challenge. Coming sliding in from out of the picture. Jabran just one leg trailing, catching Chijoke Bauma. It's a long way out, this free kick, but opportunity, it seems, for Enyimba to try their luck, and Daniel Daga is one of the players standing over this. Amalibo Somiari might fancy it as well. Tries luck from one free kick towards the end of the first half, which was blocked by the wall, which was a little bit nearer to goal. It's going to be Daga this time, and it's into the wall again. Forward by Gabriel Innocent.
I like the way Enyimba has been taking the risk. Now they feel a sense of urgency. They are putting men in front, although they've not had any good chances at the moment. But I like the way they are playing. But sometimes they need to make sure they defend very, very well.
Anash with the ball played forwards. Here is Abdul Elouni, the Libyan. fact, with the attempted switch of play. Daga comes across, trying to drive forward for Enyimba, wins free kick again. It's been that sort of game. Lots of stoppages, lots of little niggly fouls awarded.
I think there are a lot of tactical play in this game. They want to stop the game. They don't want any counter-attack. They always try to cut out any counter-attacks, and it's working for Wydad.
Bauma again looking to drive from deep, dispossessed on this occasion. Pousefian, challenged by Chilekwu. Pousefian looking hopefully towards the referee. It's just an Enyimba throw, and again Enyimba, chance maybe to come forward here. Game becoming stretched ever so slightly. The referee's pulling it back for the free kick. Enyimba are in a hurry to get on with things here, and Yahya Jabran just protesting to the referee. Needs to be a little bit careful, having picked up that yellow card. Foul was given away by Jamal Arkas. Chance for the shot from long range, which is blocked by Soufiane Anash. It was maybe a bit of a waste, really, from Enyimba there. Gabriel Innocent. It's a loose ball from Okechukwu. Let's see if Wydad can punish the Enyimba defender. Hamdou Elouni comes inside, the run made outside him by Atiat Allah. Just overran it in the end. Clever bit of play from Wydad that time. Hamdou Elouni is one of the new players that Wydad have brought in this season. He's got terrific experience. It's a lovely touch by him, nearly created something for Yahya Atiat Allah. It's very tight in terms of possession, not much in it at all.
I think Wydad has been more defensive in the second half. They want to hold on to their one-goal lead and play on the counter-attack.
Giving away another free kick in a promising position for Enyimba. Chinjoke Bauma is the player who was caught. He is an attacking threat in this Enyimba team. He scored in the last league game. He scored in the Champions League qualifying round defeat against Al Ahly Benghazi. Now then, Kinyawazi coming over to the touchline here. Another of the Enyimba attacking players making way, more fresh legs being sent on. And Adiele Eriugo is the player coming on. Free kick looking for Gabriel Innocent. Dealt with by the Wydad defence, and maybe a chance for them to break here. Superb running from Elouni. Pousefian coming racing across from the right-hand side. Ball into the middle is cleared away. Just signs of it becoming a bit more stretched in this second half, with Enyimba pushing forward and with Wydad having a bit of space to break into. There's the ball over the top. Leki Ojo coming out to claim. An hour played here in Uyo. Boussafian from Wydad. Cross held up, looking for Shemki El Bakri in the middle. Heavy touch from Arcas. It's given possession away. Yahya Jabran does have a tendency to turn back towards his own goal.
I like the way Enyimba is playing. They feel a sense of urgency, and I think they're taking the risk. Sometimes you don't need a coach. Sometimes you need your strong mentality to make sure you give everything and get a goal.
Cooper is the one who is trying to take the initiative there, but very ambitious attempt from Kenna Cooper on that occasion. This will be a great learning process for Enyimba, for their young players. They have competed very well this evening, but I think they are conscious of the need to get a goal back in the second half to keep their hopes alive in the tie.
And I think Cooper has been very, very brilliant since coming on. He's been able to drive the team. He's been able to push the team forward, defensively and most defensively and offensively. And I think it's a good call for the coach. No wonder he's part of the team of the season last year.
Yes, being champions last year when they pipped Remo Stars and Rivers United in the championship playoffs. The geography of Enyimba, this club, who come from the city of Aba. It's in the southeastern state of Abia. Not too far away from Port Harcourt, not too far away from here in Uyo either. And these Enyimba fans have made the trip here this evening to follow their team, the People's Elephant. Bit of concern for Chijioke Mbauma, as the player requiring some treatment at the moment. Enyimba have already made 2 changes. Let's see if Finidi George needs to make any more in the coming minutes. The Enyimba substitutes, they are warming up. The stadium, by the way, was the venue for the CAF Confederation Cup final last year, when it was won by Moroccan team Renaissance Berkane, beat Orlando Pirates of South Africa on penalties in the final in this stadium. Moroccan clubs have done very well in that competition in recent years. It's not just been in the Champions League itself, the Confederation Cup too. And the Moroccan League is taking a claim to be Africa's strongest league at the moment, even ahead of the Egyptian League, the Algerian League, very strong too.
I think they've been able to invest a lot in their football. I remember I visited there like 2 months ago, and what they have been doing there has been amazing. And no wonder they have the best league in the world right now. You know, they've invested so much in football, and they are benefiting from it. And I'll say congratulations to Morocco for what they are doing in Africa, and then hopefully other African countries will learn from that and make sure we also benefit from it someday.
It's producing some very exciting young players from their academy systems. I mentioned before, their women's team is getting better and better all the time. They hosted the Women's AFCON last year, got to the final of that particular competition. They have some fantastic stadiums, and they'll be hosting the AFCON in a couple of years' time. They'll be joint hosting the World Cup in a few years' time as well. It's really exciting times for Moroccan football, looking ahead towards 2030, that World Cup competition. The idea, anyway, is that they host it with Spain and Portugal. Moroccan clubs will feature prominently in the Champions League coming up. Wydad involved in that competition, having been beaten finalists at the hands of Al Ahly last season, and having won it in the previous season in a final played in their own stadium, a one-off final on that occasion. As Enyimba come forward again, helped on by Jabran, picked up by Daniel Daga. Ryugo, the substitute, Wydad under a little bit of pressure here. You mentioned, Asimo, that Wydad are maybe happier to tweak their approach, be a little bit more defensive, try to hit on the break quickly. They have that lead thanks to Jabran's penalty. They're aware that Enyimba wants to put them under that pressure.
I think tactically they want Enyimba to come to them so that they can open, so they can exploit that space with their counter attack. And that is another tactic that you can kill the game. So I think that is the coach's game plan. He knows Enyimba is frustrated. They go badly, and then they're gonna open. They all gonna come forward, and then he's gonna try and play on the break. I think that is the tactic Wydad is trying to do right now.
A bit of a problem here for Enyimba, player down, possibly needing treatment. So he is back up now, and Chilekwu is going to deliver the free kick here, coming up to the midway point in the second half in Uyo. Chilekwu's ball in. It's a really dangerous one. Well, they were almost queuing up at the back post, and it was a really important touch from the Wydad defender, who claims he was on the receiving end of a push there. I think Harkas looked towards the referee, but it's just a corner kick that's been given. Now making a game of this Enyimba. It's going to be a long throw from Chilekwu. Helped on. Might just fall for Daga at the back post. There really should have been the equaliser there. Massive chance for Daniel Daga, whose shot is just off target. May have taken a touch off a Wydad player on its way. It is going to be a corner. That one is straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Enyimba very nearly drawing level through the teenager Daniel Daga.
Well, Daga was unlucky there. He did the right thing by placing the ball on his left foot, not trying to shoot so harder. And it's rather unfortunate the ball didn't go in.
Take a look at that again. Certainly that half-time change of bringing Cooper on has helped them, and the fresh legs of Ugo, number 38, has come on as well. I think helping them too become more of a threat in the final third of the field. This is Gabriel Innocent.
Exactly, the substitutions has been really good for Enyimba. They've been able to change tactic. They've been more offensive-minded. They see the sense of urgency, and it's working for them. All they need to is to try and get a goal at least to secure this game, to secure a draw.
Yeah, still every chance that Enyimba can get back on level terms here. They have 21 minutes plus stoppage time. That's the run being made into the channel by Cooper. Might just fall for the shot. Really important block. Comes back to Cooper again. Might get another bite at this. This is where Wydad need to try and do some damage on the breakaway. They've had twice as many attempts on goal in this match now. Just not enough attempts on target. That's been one of the problems for them. Scoring goals, hardest thing to do in football. And the team who lost their star striker from last season, sold to the Moroccan League. Been rebuilding with a number of new faces coming into this campaign. Disappointment of their defeat in the Champions League before getting to the group stage. This is a huge opportunity for Enyimba. Inaugural 8-team African Football League. Kojo with the long. The Ramsey, his manager, was a Moroccan international midfielder, played at the AFCON on more than one occasion. He was a Dutch champion with PSV Eindhoven. He'd spent 6 years coaching in the PSV Academy, then took charge of their under-21 team last season before being appointed by Wydad in July of this year. Wydad are finally going to make a change here, and Boussefian is being told to get off the field as quickly as possible. He is on a yellow card, Boussefian, so he couldn't take any risks. And he is the player who makes way. And it's Montasser Lahtimi who comes on now. He is a young Moroccan attacking talent. He's come back to his home country on loan from the Turkish club Trabzonspor. His loan deal has an option for Wydad to make it permanent if all goes well this season. Just fall for the chance for the shot for Izuogu, who's just come on as a substitute. Bit of a wild swipe at that, and it's well over the crossbar.
he tried this young chap. I think the team of Enyimba lacks a bit of experience. They've been able to get into the box of Wydad, but the finishing touches has been not encouraging. I think this is where they should work on.
Certainly having plenty of opportunities in this second half in particular. Still Wydad lead by 0-0. Wydad are a team in good form, qualified for the group stage of the Champions League. They lost their opening league game of the season, but since then they are unbeaten in 4 wins and a draw against the leaders Berkane.
I think this is where you cannot blame a coach for losing a game or for not performing. If you don't create chances, that is where you can blame a coach. But the coach has done a lot of good substitutions. They've been creating a lot of chances, but the execution has been a problem for Enyimba right now.
We didn't get a chance to see again that miss by Daniel Daga just before he went off. We had that shot which ball fell to him at the back post. He hit the ball just wide of the opposite upright. It was very close to being the equaliser. That was probably the best chance for Enyimba. Otherwise, the finishing has been a bit disappointing. And they still trail with 13 minutes of the 90 remaining here.
You can see Wydad very comfortable walking and trying to buy time. They are comfortable with a 1-0, and they know in the second leg they're gonna open up and score a couple of goals. So they are ahead right now, and they are very confident.
Atiat Allah. It's the cross in. It's going to fall here for Anash. It will be a very different occasion when these teams meet in Casablanca in midweek. The remarkable stadium there, which Wydad shared with their great rivals Raja Casablanca, which when it's full is one of the most remarkable stadiums anywhere in world football in terms of the atmosphere that it can create, in terms of the colour, the noise, the passion of the Wydad supporters. And it will be a pretty intimidating prospect for Enyimba. Ball played across the penalty box. It comes out for the shot at goal from Sufyan Anash, which is off target. One of the new arrivals this season at Wydad, Anash actually had a spell with the English club Brighton, albeit without playing in the first team. And was latterly playing in Saudi Arabia. Now then, Enyimba with bodies in the penalty box here. It was a disappointing low cross in. El Houni put under pressure. This is where Wydad's experience and know-how when it comes to big games in continental competition can make all the difference. Excellent ball into space here. Zakaria Draoui, the Algerian international, back the way to Anash. El Houni. Youssef El Mouti clears it long. It's headed on looking for El Bakri. Abdul Fat. Challenged by Cooper. He's penalised by the referee. A sequence of possession for Wydad, the longest spell of possession they've had for a while. Been under pressure at times in this second half. Enyimba have given everything really in this second half to try to get back on level terms. It's not quite been enough, not yet anyway. Maybe a bit of a problem here for the away team though. Tiredness setting in. possibly a hamstring problem.
I think they are getting a bit of cramps, and sometimes this happens. An away team tries to defend it every time, and they've worked tirelessly well to be able to secure a goal. It's not over yet, but you could see this is where players start having cramps and everything, but it's a normal thing.
Well, Wydad are preparing another change then. Second substitution of the evening, and Elhouni, the Libyan, is coming off, and Anas Serhat is the player who comes on now. He is the one player who started Wydad's last game in the domestic league, who was dropped from the lineup this evening. And taking off Elhouni, that should be a defensive move by the manager, taking off a more attacking-minded player and replacing him with one who you'd imagine will be a bit more defensive in his mindset. Number 3, Serhat. Chance to make it 2-0. Unselfishly squared, the shot is blocked in front of the line. Sufyan Anash thought he was going to make it 2-0. Flag belatedly coming up.
I think there was an offside there.
Rare occasion in which Wydad have actually got in behind the Enyimba defence in this second half. Of course, forced them to change their plans at that particular time. Challenge by Joseph Atule on Jabran. Jabran is not in a rush to get back to his feet here.
That was a dangerous challenge there.
And the referee decided not to punish the Enyimba player. Forward by Arcas. Is there to be another goal? Or is that late first half penalty from Yahya Jabran to be the one that decides this contest? Serhat the substitute. Zakaria Draoui. Now Soufiane Anash. Atia Allah again making that run forward. He's going to have to get back into position, I think. Well, maybe not. The ball running out for the throw. Anash again. He settles for the free kick, Soufiane Anash.
I think now experience is beginning to count in the game. You can see how Wydad has been able to control the game. They are very, very calm on the ball, passing, trying to create fouls to buy time so they can hold on their one-goal victory. You know, it shows the experience they have in this kind of competitions.
Yeah, the smart money would be on Wydad seeing out the victory in the second leg on home soil. Even if Enyimba were to come back and grab a late equaliser here, it would be a really huge achievement for them to win this tie over two legs, given what awaits them in Morocco. Wydad have been such a force in African football in recent seasons. Champions League winners in 2017 and in 2022, runners-up in 2019 as well as last season. Gabriel Innocent then to take the free kick here, chooses to square it. And the Wydad defence standing firm. The music of the Enyimba supporters band has not stopped all evening. Not had a huge amount to celebrate. In terms of what the team has produced on the field, they've battled hard, but lack of quality ultimately in front of goal. It looks like costing them. We're in the 90th minute here in Uyo. And Wydad are set to leave Nigeria with a hard-earned victory to take into the return. Let's see if they can add another goal then. Anash just snatching at the shot a little bit. Saw the defender coming across towards him, and the early shot on goal, which is off target. But in general, Massimo, I think Finidi George's team, unless they can do something in the next few minutes, ultimately heading for a defeat, which probably just about deserved tonight, even if they have fought ever so hard. Wydad maybe just a step above.
Now, I mean, in this kind of games, when it gets to this time, all you need to do is to try and get a draw, because time is not on their side. We don't know how many minutes. Okay, now we've had like five minutes. So all you need to try and do is just to get on a level terms, and it will be a huge boost for them.
Well, they have to urgently get men forward here. They've made plenty of changes in the second half in an attempt to get the fresh legs on, to give Wydad something to think about defensively. Wydad defence standing very firm indeed. Such an experienced defence with Moroccan internationals in either full-back position. And here they come bursting through. The referee reaching into his pocket. It's going to be a card. What colour of card? Yellow, surely. Alalibo Somiari, the latest player to be cautioned in this game. Slightly cynical challenge, and well, not much doubt about that decision. The foul of Montasser Laktimi.
I think he was lucky to get away with a red card.
Laktimi is not in a hurry to get back to his feet here. And the referee is going to come across and check the VAR screen. And you said it, Asamoah, that you felt that the Enyimba defender was lucky not to get a red card. Well, might the referee change his mind? Is there a suspicion that this challenge is worthy of a sending off? It's certainly not a particularly nice tackle from Alalibo Somiari, and you can see that the Wydad player is racing away towards goal, cynically stopped by the defender. He would have been in. He had a teammate right alongside him too. What has the referee decided? Well, looks like he is going to upgrade this card. Yellow, which he did produce, is going to be changed to a red for Alalibo Somiari. And Enyimba are going to finish this game with 10 men.
I think it was a good call by the referee. We discussed earlier, he nearly escaped the red card, and I think the VAR checked, and then they saw it was a red card because the striker was towards the goal. He was almost in front of goal, and it was a tactical foul by the defender. He did so well, but I'm sorry for him. He is going out at the later stages of the game.
He gets consolation handshake from his manager. Alalibo Somiari heads off down the tunnel, a couple of minutes ahead of his teammates. He will be suspended for the second leg to come. Enyimba's job now is just to make sure they don't concede another goal in the next couple of minutes, but that's why that card was upgraded from yellow to red, because you can see that the Wydad player was heading towards goal. Opportunity was cynically stopped by the Enyimba defender, and in the end the free kick is cleared away. The stoppage time will drag on beyond the allotted 5 minutes as a result of that VAR check. Doesn't look like Enyimba with 10 men are going to be able to grab the equalising goal. Say that Wydad have been entirely comfortable in this second half. There was just a little spell of pressure, in particular around about the hour mark, when Enyimba did look dangerous, when Daniel Daga had that chance. Otherwise, they've looked defensively very sound. They are going to make another change, I think, the away team, if they get the opportunity. I think it's Saif Edin Bukha who is ready to come on down below. Shakil Bakri. Wydad happy to keep possession, work it across to the other side. Just get Another chance to wrap up the victory, but the ball is collected by Olurunleke Ojo. Ultimately, his foul to give away the penalty cost Enyimba very dear this evening. Said beforehand it would be a steep learning curve for the Nigerian team tonight against one of the very finest teams on the continent over the last few years. And Wydad Casablanca have edged the victory tonight thanks to that man's penalty late in the first half. Yaya Jabran from the spot with the only goal of the game. Enyimba fought ever so hard, finishing the match with 10 men as Alalibo Somiari was sent off. A foul initially given a yellow card, upgraded to red after a VAR check. It rather summed up Enyimba's evening. Not quite good enough, ultimately beaten by the experience of Wydad Casablanca. And Adil Ramsey's team look poised, you have to say, Asamoah, to go on and secure a place in the semi-final. It's going to take something really special from Finidi George's team to turn this tie around in the second leg in Morocco.
I think Enyimba at least should have gotten a draw today. They were able to create a lot of chances, but experience was the major key. They weren't able to convert their chances, and hopefully, I'm sure Finidi will be very, very disappointed about these results. Although he did what he had to do, the changes was very, very good. The experience played a major key of this for Wydad, and I'm sure they're gonna go home very, very happy, and then wait for the second leg of the competition.
Yes, the second leg to come in a few days' time. The Wydad players who arrived here on Friday to get ready for this game, they'll return home and get ready for the return leg. They edge this one. You can see Asamoah suggesting that Enyimba should have got the draw. In terms of the attempts on goal, they did have chances. 20 attempts on goal in this game, twice as many as Wydad managed, but only the one registered as being on target, and ultimately not enough quality in the final third for the Nigerian champions tonight.
Yeah. Statistically, you could see Enyimba dominating shot on target, but they weren't on target. They just had 20 shots, just one on target, and it's very, very frustrating for a team to have 20 shots and just one on target. As I said, Finidi will be very, very disappointed. I'm sure he's going to go back to the drawing board and work on finishing, I'm sure, within these days before they can get there. But it's very, very difficult to play against Wydad when they are playing at home. An experienced team, they won the Champions League last year, and going there with an inexperienced team like Enyimba, I think the worst they can get is a draw over there, and I don't see that happening.
Yeah, it's going to be a very big ask indeed then for Enyimba to rescue this tie in the second leg. It's been an entertaining evening here in Uyo. It's been an entertaining weekend, the first weekend of the inaugural African Football League. The quarter-finals have taken us from a thriller between Simba and Al Ahly in Tanzania on Friday to a fine win for Mamelodi Sundowns yesterday in Luanda, and narrow wins today for Tupuiso Mazembe, and then for Wydad Casablanca here in Nigeria this evening. Shortly, we'll take you through the highlights, the best of tonight's action in this quarter-final first leg between Enyimba and Wydad.
All right, Coach Finidi George, your team lost. Hard luck. What do you have to say?
The result didn't reflect, what the game would have been. I think we had a good spell in the game, a couple of chances we didn't take in the first half. They got that penalty and they scored, I think in the second half also, we had 2 or 3 that we would have taken, and that would have changed the result, of the game. But hard luck. 1-0, I think there's still a chance, to make it up over there. So it's going to be a tough one, an uphill battle. But I think from what I've seen, we can do better,
Any idea of what we fans should expect?
We'll go there and compete. Like I said, it's 90 minutes. A lot of things happen in this game. But for you to win games, you have to score. You take your chances. That didn't happen for us today, and I think Yeah, in the next couple of days, there's another game against the same team. So we'll try and make sure we rectify that as quick as possible.
Thank you.